Welcome back to Squelch, the Video Game Book Club. I'm Dano.
I'm Matt at Arms.
And I'm Storm Rage. And we're here to remind everybody the Dragon Age Inquisition is a game, and that games are supposed to be fun.
We did it. We have finished the main story of Dragon Age Inquisition. I had an absolute blast. I did everything in the game that you could do other than the DLCs. I did it. I did it all. I 100%ed it. It was worth it. It was great. I even got all the boozes, which I don't think serves any purpose whatsoever. It's just a thing. Like they're not even displayed anywhere. It's just a thing. I was like, I got 27 of the 29 and was like, I guess I'll find those last two. And so I did. It was great. Kill all the dragons.
So Stronghold, so Skyhold is very well stocked. The bar is very well stocked in Skyhold.
With like ancient gross boozes, they were all like, Warden so and so's, grog of doom. It's like, all right.
So vinegar. So you got a lot of vinegar. You got a lot of You got a lot of like stripper and paint remover and stuff like that.
Essentially, though, one of them is a callback to a Dragon Age Origins DLC booze that you give to one of your, like, the dwarf friend who drinks too much. So that was kind of cool that was a callback to that one. But other than that, like, I don't know what in the world those were in the game for. Like, serve zero purpose. And, like, we're, like, the thing that you found the most of the time with your radar function. So, like, I don't even know what they were doing with that. Like, it's so silly.
It would have been nice to have like a place where all these bottles are like lined up, right? Like I would think they'd be your quarters or something, right?
So they do that so they bring back the booze, but instead it's like mugs or something in the Deep Roads DLC, and they are displayed. Oh. So, and they do get displayed, and like you have all those amazing mosaics displayed. So like, why not like have used the fancy radar for the mosaics, which do get displayed in Skyhold? So, but nope, they don't. Those are just so. I found all of those, by the way. I found all but 6 on my own, and had to Google where 6 of them were because some of those were hard to find. But yeah, it's fun. Everything was great. It was lots of fun. So this week we are finishing the game. We played through What Pride Had Wrought, the final piece, and Doom Upon All the World. We are also gonna rank the game this week and give our final review, even though we haven't played through the DLCs yet. We are going to do that after Xmas Effect, but I think we thought it made more sense to just go ahead and rank the game now after the main story was done, because it feels like fairly wrapped, even though there is a big holy buckets at the end of this game. So next week, we are bringing back Xmas Effect with Mass Effect Andromeda. I've already started playing it, and I must say, people were kind of wrong about that game. It's fun. So far, it's Dragon Age Inquisition in space. Like, you have a radar power. You have a whole bunch of stuff to drive around and find. The Mako returns. Holy buckets.
It's not the Mako. It's a much better Mako.
100% the Mako. No, it's the Mako. They just made it easier for you to drive up vertical walls because they put in a drive up vertical wall mode. It's like, I can't get up this vertical wall. And then they're like, well, then just hit LB. That will let you drive up the vertical wall better.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing about the game is that there's so many times where you're walking around and you don't realize that the map is like, you can't actually go here, even though these two places are right next to each other. You have to go around this giant mountain. Mass Effect's like, what if you could always go there? What if you could just go the shortest distance?
Yes.
Because you could defy the laws of gravity.
Yes. Is there a mod to bring this Mako into Dragon Age Inquisition? Because I could have used that in the hinterland.
If only.
Did you buy the awesome the 10,000 gold ruin this guy's livelihood for 5 giant nug mounts? Oh, worth it. Oh man. Anyways, back to Xbox Effect Mass Andromeda. I'm excited to start talking about that game. It's been a lot. I started playing it this week because I finished Inquisition. And it's so far been really good. So let's go thank some patrons.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Thank you very much, patrons.
Thank.
I tried.
That one was mine. That one was my bad. I was late on that. I'm not going to change the thought.
Thank you very much, patrons and Twitch subs. Your support keeps this podcast ticking. Honestly, like, you help us to pay for this podcast to be hosted, and you pay for the games that we play. And honestly, this is a thing because of you. So thank you so very much from the bottom of our hearts. We do really appreciate it. Even if you're just paying $1 a month, it honestly, it helps. And so if you want to support the pod, you can go over to twitch.tv/DanoPlay. Throw us an Amazon Prime if you want. Patreon.com/Squelch if you want to support the podcast. It's honestly, you are the best. I think we can skip lore this week, I feel like, because we have a lot to get to. Or do we want to kind of dive through our advisors and our companions one more time?
If you did, and you didn't make me say any of them, that would give me time to finish typing things.
All right, Matt, you and I are going to real quickly give our final 2 cents on on each of them. Feel free to kind of say whatever you want, 'cause that's what I'm going to do. So let's hop into the lore.
This one's a real page-turner.
All right, so let's start with Cullen. Cullen is the unluckiest man on Thedas. He was at all the worst places where all the worst things happen. And now he's not addicted to delirium anymore because I'm a good person. Matt kept him addicted to delirium, and that's on him. You didn't, Matt?
Wrong. No. He's clean. I've said this before.
You're the one addicted to delirium now.
I took his Lyrian habit for him.
That's very kind of you. Tell us about Josephine.
Yeah. Josephine, she's our ambassador and chief diplomat. She's an Antiva noble. We basically made her family right, and now she can just continue to be awesome.
She can. Then we have Liliana. She's our spy master, former companion of the hero Ferelden, left hand of the divine, candidate to be the next divine. I thought she was going to be my divine. Spoilers, she's not. And she can be either super hardcore at the end of the game and be totally my way or the highway, or she can be really kind, but only if you knew the right things to do from hour 1 in the game.
Yeah.
All right, so there's Morgan. She's our ambassador to Orlais, and she brought in a Luvian with her, because as she does, she does things in this episode. She's very busy in this episode. She's got things to do.
She's very busy and has some serious mommy issues. Wow,
Yep.
This episode could be mommy issues the game. Then we have our companions. We have Blackwall. He's not Blackwall. He is Tom Rainier. He was a officer in the Orlais military and took a whole bunch of money to assassinate a guy, and then accidentally also assassinated that guy's entire family. Not really accidentally. I let him just rot in jail. I think others kind of saved him, but yeah.
I never got that quest to trigger, by the way.
You never got that quest to trigger? Well, there you go.
No.
Wow.
So he's still Blackwall for me.
He's always Blackwall, even though he's Tom Rainier.
Yeah.
Tell us about Cassandra, Matt.
She's a Seeker. She's like a fancy Templar that, we find out how Seekers work after dealing with her quest. She's in line to become the Divine, but does not come to Divine in my playthrough.
We have Cole. Cole is a spirit who created a human body to inhabit. We can help him to remain a free spirit or become a real boy.
I got Dorian. He's a mage from Deventer with a cool mustache.
Very cool mustache. He is a lot of fun. We have Iron Bull, former agent of the Ben Hasrath. He has his own mercenary crew called the Bull's Chargers. He has to choose between saving Bull's Chargers or leaving the Qun. It's tough. for him. And either way, it's sad. I had him save both Chargers. I think it's what we all ended up doing in the end.
Yeah, we all ended up doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
which is the right thing to do.
It is just the right thing to do. And he is also dating Dorian. They are a very fun couple.
I guess. We got Sarah. She's an elven rogue. She's a member of the Red Jenny. She has a terrible haircut, and she's kind of awesome, honestly.
She is kind of awesome, honestly. Solus was a mage. We'll leave it at that. We're gonna leave. We're not gonna say anything more about Solus.
He was a mage. He disappears at the ends for reasons. We got Varric. Varric is this cool dwarf dude from who we used to know who used to hang out with Hawk. Would hang out with the Champion Court Rel. He's a writer. He's awesome. He's basically the main character of the games, the last 2 games.
Very much. I think he falls off a little bit in this game, at least for me. Like Dragon Age 2 was definitely like Varric and Hawk best buds the game. And then I feel like Dragon Age Inquisition starts, it's like the Varric and Cassandra show, and then very much becomes like the Cassandra and Inquisitor show, which I think is fine. I enjoy that. I think they did a good job of like using Varric to like bring you from Dragon Age 2 into Dragon Age Inquisition, and then Varric sort of like after like Hawk comes back, and then you either sacrifices herself or she goes off to Weishaupt to the Grey Wardens. After that, I feel like Varric just kind of like blends into the background, either as like life is good or life is awful, but he's not necessarily quite as like forefront, which I think is a cool way to kind of present the character. I enjoy that quite immensely. Then we have Vivian. She has remained loyal to the Circle. She is like, everything was perfect and great before the mages rebelled, even though I'm a mage. I can't believe you all just didn't love being shackled to the Chantry, because it was perfect and awesome, because I had everything easy as the mistress of Duke Bastion. Duke Bastion dies, and she is sad about it. We can help her to try to cure it. If we do, then she's happy. If we can actually lie to her and give her a fake wyvern heart as well, and she'll know and try anyways. But yeah, she's still kind of great and awesome, and also kind of a Jedi, which is a ton of fun.
Yeah, she's kind of great.
Kind of great. Though I did craft her like a super like lightsaber and gave her like crafted her special armor to front line with, and then have never played with her since. Which I think is kind of on me. Maybe I'll have to take her into one of the DLCs or something.
Yeah, I kind of fell out of love with her for a while. Once Solus started freezing things in place, that was kind of nice. And then Solus became my main party mage.
I feel like you have to bring Solus along for everything, because like he just tells the lore of everywhere you go. And then the end of this game is so much about elves and like elven history and elven mythology that like you also feel like you have to bring Solus along. And then
my last party was my last group was Solus, Sarah, Cassandra, and me. So like I just brought them the entire time. And they were great.
Yeah, my final party was Inquisitor, Solus, Dorian, and Cassandra. Cassandra, because she was my tank. I needed a tank. And then Dorian and Solus, because he was just so good. And Dorian, because he was just... my Dorian build was so ridiculous. Dorian he had Kitty's collar on, which means he had minus 100% damage reduction. So he had no armor, but he is a necromancer. So he has a necromantic ability that will just like when he dies, he just pops back to life. And then Kitty's collar also has a chance to have him just pop back to life when he dies. And so... and then I gave him the Ring of Doubt, which put him into stealth and then guaranteed like his next ability would crit. And so he was just this crazy, like absolute, like the definition of a glass cannon. And he was just always dying and popping back to life. And it was just so much fun to watch.
I mean, I think I'd rather have that than Solus drink all my potions.
You Solus, like that guy, like you had a death wish. You had to be constantly aware of Solus because he would just like run to where the tank was. It's like, Solus, you have magic. Stay away. All right, are we ready for the recap? Or do you want us to vamp a little longer?
I crushed it. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
You're ready to go. That's good.
As of this moment, I declare the Inquisition reborn.
All right, here we go. Storm Rage, get us going with what Pride had wrought.
What Pride had wrought is the last full mission of the game. There are 2 others, but they are, I would say, much shorter and are, by and large, the do this thing, great, you've done this thing. That took 15 minutes, now do the other last 15-minute thing. So this is the last full major mission. We are trying to head to this elven temple where we believe that the Illuvian, which is that mirror that we talked so much about at Dragon Age 2 that we could never get working, that Morrigan has one of. We believe the other one is in this elven temple. If Corypheus is able to get his hands on this mirror, then he'll be able to walk into the Fade physically and either become a god or destroy the entire world, possibly both. So we send all of our troops, we send all of our allies, we send everybody, because this is the last stand to really make sure that Corypheus doesn't end up winning. We first meet at the forward camp as we also see a number of kind of nearby allies. There's a lot of soldiers, and we can chat with the surviving ruler of Orlais. For me, it was Empress Celine. What did everybody else have? Just a quick reminder about how we handled Orlais.
Empress Celine for me as well.
I had the elf lady show up.
Oh, Briala.
Oh,
okay,
nice. Okay, cool.
We can chat with the few soldiers who are very concerned, and then we need to move on to the next forward operating base. When we do, we fight a group of Red Templar that I thought I had killed, but oh well, and some Grey Wardens that I thought I saved, but oh well, that are still under Corypheus's control. We continue to make our way through. It's just fight after fight after fight, until we eventually reveal that there is a third faction on this quest. So there is Corypheus, there are our forces, and then there is a third faction of elves that appear to be defending the temple from everybody, but especially from Corypheus. We will eventually find battlefields where our advisors are in the heat of battle, except for Josephine. Josephine's the very first one, and she doesn't battle. Colin is fighting with some Red Templars, Liana is fighting with some archers, and fighting against some Red Templars as well. We make our way to the entrance of the Temple of Mythal, where we believe this Illuvian is held. Corypheus has unfortunately made it there before us. He confronts some of the temple elves who activate a trap. Corypheus just walks on through, and for a moment, I thought, oh, well, this trap is not powerful enough to kill Corypheus, and then Corypheus just gets melted. Just Wicked Witch of the West, just melted down.
Like he was staring into the temple, like he was staring into the Ark of the Covenant, melted. Like,
yes.
That's how...
Yes. He is melted down and eventually pops up from a nearby body and is being reborn. We see this, and the elves run inside. The trap having been triggered, nothing can protect them. Corypheus' lieutenant and a few of his men run inside after the elves. We run inside after his lieutenant and his forces, and we do our best. Corypheus is still reviving. It does take him a little bit of time, and we don't want to deal with that. So we make our way into the temple as Corypheus' dragon is right behind us, trying to burn us with that red lyrium breath, but we're able to shut the door just in time. Only one way out of this temple, and that is through. Once we are inside, we fight some bad guys until Corypheus' lieutenant jumps down a hole. We can jump down the hole too, or we can complete a ritual. And I like that this was an actual choice of either just jump down, or you can jump through these other hoops and do some puzzles. What did you guys do? Did you jump in the hole, or did you do some puzzles?
Oh, I did some puzzles. Like, come on.
Yeah, puzzles for sure. Puzzles were fun. I enjoyed those puzzles.
They were fun.
I just jumped down because I looked at it, and I was following a game guide, and they were like, do these things, and then do these things, then do these things. And then I went, no. And then I just jumped down the hole.
I mean, all the puzzles were literally walking in a path to light all the squares. That's all the puzzles were. And like the one that I kept messing up on was because I just messed up on it. Like I did and it was always in the last section where I did too many squares in one direction, and I had to I couldn't make the square light.
They were really good puzzles because they're the kind of puzzles you didn't have to like look up a guide for. You could like figure out on your own with like a little bit of like observation and trial and error. The puzzles in Dragon Age Inquisition, I would say 95% the best puzzles in video games I have played. Like they're not like trying to get you to like they're not super obtuse or require. There's only one puzzle I can think of where it was like there's no way you could figure this out on your own. Like it was like light this torch 2 times, this torch 4 times, this torch it's 3 times.
It's not like the Dragon Age 2 puzzle where you had like the weird beams of light that you had no idea where they were coming from, 2 where they had to go.
Yeah, it's kind of like it was like the next level of that where it's like that one like through some observation and a lot of work you could figure out. These it's like okay, with a little bit of observation and trial and error of like 2 or 3 times, you will figure them out. And like with 3 of the 4 of them, you could probably figure out first time, no problem. And I think the one that it took like maybe a few tries was the gate one, where you had to figure out like how to get to the gate and open it. Well, there was that one like square where it's like, how do you get this last square? And you had like travel over the yellow bricks. Very cool. Yeah. I enjoyed the puzzles quite a bit, actually. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah. I did too. Like that, actually, I struggled with the gate because there's like you ever timed on the gate too, where you were you hit the switch and eventually one would fall and one would go up and then it would reset after time.
But yeah, I thought it was great puzzles, perfect kind of puzzles.
Yeah, and they were quick. They were
yeah.
Jump down the hole, and let me tell you, easiest puzzle of all, not doing the puzzle. Either way, so if we jump, so before we jump into the hole, Morgan tells us the truth. In the room before, there was this little inscription that she translated, and she realized that in this temple is actually the Well of Sorrows, and that is actually what Corypheus is probably looking for. Now, we don't necessarily know that 100%, but Morgan is fairly confident. The Well of Sorrows would give somebody ultimate knowledge or power, an incredible amount of it, at a price. And the price is pretty vague. And Morgan says, hey, let me do the ritual. Let me take that price. And that way Corypheus won't get it. Because I don't know if you trust me or not, but you sure don't trust Corypheus. And I'm better than Corypheus. Which, fact checked, true. If you complete the rituals, then you complete the ritual and you head into the petitioner's chamber. If you jump down, you fight a bunch of guys, and then you end up in the petitioner's chamber. So either way, you pretty quickly get to where you need to go. In this chamber, you are confronted by the leader of the temple's elves. His name is Abelas. And if you completed the ritual, you can ally with these elves. If you didn't complete it, then the elves will always fight you. A little bit of background about these elves. They are guardians of this temple. They wake up whenever the temple is threatened, and they do their best to defend it. But their numbers have been dwindling because they don't make more elves. And so if anybody dies, that's just one less person to guard the temple. Additionally, they look down on modern-day elves. I came in with myself and Solus, and let me tell you, they were not happy with us. They were like, oh, you pathetic people. And we were like, you could just, like, live with your people. You don't have to be here. And they were like, no, we wouldn't dare to infect ourselves with you disgusting people.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, though, because we learned a whole bunch of lore, especially if you bring Dorian with, because they're like, maybe you didn't get that. You only get this if you ally with them, but they're like, yeah, no, like, why would we go live with the modern day elves? They've got it all wrong. We were basically destroyed ourselves by infighting, and the Tevinter just came and like picked the bones of an already dead corpse. So Dorian was like, wait a minute, what? So you're saying that we didn't end your empire? He's like, no, you were just like some doofuses that came along after we destroyed ourselves and stole all our magic that we left lying around after the wars that we did. And he's like, what?
Yeah, it's like our empire's already dead. You know, just to pick the ball. Yeah, pick the corpses.
Yeah, it was really, really fun, like world building at the end of the game. Like it was like, hey, the game's over, and here's like the actual truth, because they kind of like been like showing like. They kind of like were hinting at this game actually being about the elves all along through a lot of like the lore you would get in like completing different like side quests and reading different like codex pieces and stuff. But then at the end, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Like, so it's been about the elves all along. And then there's like the astronaut always has been. Really cool, really fun bit of like world building. I felt like.
I thought so too. I really like this section. So afterwards, one way or another, we get through this section. And we make our way to the Well of Sorrows, which has some important background. So at this point, we come across Corypheus' lieutenant. If you allied with the mages earlier, then you can weaken the lieutenant here, but you must fight them no matter what. If you allied with the Templars, then you can actually avoid this fight entirely by doing a different side quest and then doing a couple of war table things and revealing that Corypheus is actually planning on betraying his lieutenant and sticking them in a cage, locking them away, and stealing their power from them, which is what Corypheus already did to the lieutenant's mentor. And if you didn't do all that, then you're gonna have to fight one way or another. Daniel, I'm guessing you were able to skip this fight.
Completely skipped it.
I also skipped this fight because this was a quest line that I was like, ooh, I'll no,
so much work. I didn't think we're gonna have any work.
I'm so sorry. It's too early. My processing isn't good.
I got the dialogue to I got the dialogue to possibly skip this fight, and I'm like, no, you have to die anyway. So I'm just.
She doesn't have to though. She can go back and like take over to Vinter. It's kind of awesome.
Oh really?
Yeah. You're like, hey, why don't you go back and like rule to Vinter? And Dorian's like, yeah, why don't you go back rule to Vinter? And she's like, all right, I'm gonna go back and like take over to Vinter. Like, peace, good luck. They kind of suck, so good luck. We're on your side.
It's really cool.
It is.
So Matt did what Matt does. Matt took a life when he had a chance to take a life.
Punched the reporter.
And Dano and I gave them a chance to relive. Yeah.
So when she like takes critical damage, she like is like, you know what? I'm not gonna let you kill me. I'm gonna kill me, and jumps down the waterfall.
I don't think that's
so. Matt's
better,
actions led to the direct death of somebody.
Yeah.
As
you
Dano and I's actions led to their living.
Yeah.
So I think what I said was 100% correct.
Fair.
Then, with the lieutenant dealt with one way or another, we have to deal with the Well of Sorrows. If you allied with a Balos, you can eventually convince him to let you use the well. If not, then Morgan will kill him the second that he tries to destroy the well, because he doesn't want anyone to be able to access the knowledge that is inside. Matt, did you kill him?
No. Like this scene is great because like if you ally with the elves, he's like, yeah, I got nothing else to do. This thing's yours. I'm out. See you later. He like literally walks away. He just is like, he's just like, my job's done. There's nothing left to defend. I'm out. I'm going to go live the rest of my life doing something. I don't care what.
You have to talk him into it a little bit, though. You do have to
a little bit.
You have to get him to that point.
But then there's this great scene where like Solus and him like are talking in Elvish, and like you ask him you ask Solus what he said. It's like, I hope you find a new name because your name means something awful in Elven.
What was it? It was like sadness or lone.
Or sadness or like something like that.
It was very emo.
Yeah, it was very like sad boy.
Yeah.
Was it Lone Wolf?
It wasn't, but it's Dreadwolf is what it is though.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Did you have to? So did Morgan kill him in your playthrough?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Super did. Stabbed him in the back.
So you're saying I'm the only one batting 1,000 here on doing the game right?
Correct.
All right.
So you could have saved him, Storm Rage, and not
Correct.
killed him, but you decided to kill him.
I then thought, what would my good friend Matt do? Matt would not leave this person alive, so I will do the same.
What's really funny though, Storm Rage, is if you just do the puzzles, which are not difficult puzzles, you don't have to fight anybody until you get the Well of Sorrows, essentially. You just like follow this old elf and like all the fighting is going on in the keep and you just like walking through like secret passages, collecting giant piles of gold as you go. And then he's like, here you go. And then like one little fight and then you get to the lieutenant.
Yeah, that's what I should have done. I was trying to read through guides on this end to try to get the best possible outcome. And one of the guides was like, so once you do this, then you have to do this. And then I think I misread it because I thought that if I allied with him, then I would not be able to skip the fight with the lieutenant. And I really wanted to skip the fight with the lieutenant because I had done the side quest that would have triggered it. Oh. And so I just misread the guide itself. But alas, we'll get there next time. Now, at this point, we have dealt with the lieutenant, and there's the Well of Sorrows that we must deal with. There's a brief conversation with your allies about what to do, and it kind of comes down to either option A, Morgan can drink from the well, gaining its power as well as the curse, or option B, the Inquisitor can. And what did you guys choose here?
I chose for Morgan to drink from it because I felt like it didn't make my Inquisitor wasn't necessarily like the most friendly with the magic stuff, even though she wasn't like anti-magic stuff. I was like, well, especially with like being like the curse and being tied to something, I was like, you know what, Morgan, you go ahead. You seem to be down with this and interested in doing this. So like, you know what? Go ahead, I guess.
Yeah, I had Morgan drink. I'd had Morgan drink as well because I'm like, I don't know what this is gonna do to me, and she's volunteering, so why not?
I decided to drink from it myself for a couple of reasons. One, I don't know if this is the case in every playthrough or not, Dano, but my Morgan and Liliana hate each other. So every time that there's been any sort of interaction, there's a backhanded compliment or like a dig towards Morgan from Liliana. And I am playing that my Inquisitor is all in on Liliana, so therefore I don't like Morgan. And I've interacted with Morgan for like a couple of days. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, this person is like, oh, yeah, let me drink and gain ultimate power. It's crazy to me that Morgan just comes this late in the game and is like, do this thing. And you're like, okay.
I actually sat there for a couple of minutes trying to figure out what to actually do. But like at the end, I was more swayed by like, you know, the unknown and the curse aspect to it. And the like, I don't know that I can handle this. And what's it going to do to me? And so that's kind of where I was at the end. I was like, okay, this is Morgan's bag. I first offered Solus, like, Solus, why don't you do it? And he's like, nope. So I was like, if Solus don't want to, then like, I don't think I want to either then. I was like, Solus and Dorian, they're both like, Solus like, I ain't putting that ring on, said Gandalf. And then Dorian said, oh yeah, that's a great idea. How about the Tevinter Mage becomes like the last holdout of all elven knowledge and history. Great idea. No, I'm not doing that.
Sarah's like, no.
Fascinating to think that Sarah would have any opinion because she's not allowed in my party at any point in time. I ended up drinking from it because I was an elven mage and I actually had the exact same markings on my face as a Balos did. And I was like, well, if that's not a sign that I'm supposed to take over from the Temple Guardian after actions that I may have done led to their death, then I don't know what is. So I decided to drink from it.
Yeah, I think if I was playing a mage or an elf or both, I would have probably done so as well because it makes a lot of sense then to kind of, so that's cool. I'm glad you did that.
Corypheus then arrives, bursting through the door into this area, and whoever drank from the well opens up the Illuvian, which is the fancy mirror thing, that is next to the Well of Sorrows. I didn't really mention it, but the Illuvian is here, so that's something that Morgan did get correct. It's just not the main reason that Corypheus was here. The well itself kind of explodes after we take a sip from it, and we jump in through the mirror, and there's a final scene where the person who drank from the well reveals the weakness that Corypheus has. Corypheus draws his power of rebirth from his red lyrium dragon. Kill the dragon, and he's vulnerable for a time. I also assume that it's implied that there can't be any darkspawn nearby, or a warden, because there wasn't a dragon when Hawk failed to kill him, but
There was a warden when Hawk tried to kill him. So remember
Right, which is why I'm saying that in this second case, you would also have to make sure that there's no warden for him to jump into, right?
Yeah, and there weren't any. Yeah, you just have to make sure that's no wardens and no darkspawn around because Red Lyrium Dragon. So
sweet.
Yeah.
And that's the end of what Pride had wrought.
Yeah. So now we get the final piece. So we head back to Skyhold, and Morgan, the new voices in Morgan's head have an idea. Let's go to that altar of Mythal in the Arbor Wilds. You know that place. We totally.
Or the voices in my head.
Or
they're
the voices
whispering to me.
Yes. Let's go to that altar in the Arbor Wilds. You know the place, right? Yeah, totally. And then we go there. Our parties, and we have to select a party for some reason. I don't know why. But they like immediately they're like, hey, y'all wait outside. If you hear screaming, come running. And so then Morgan starts the summoning ritual, and all of a sudden, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum. Captain Janeway shows up. I mean, Flemeth shows up. It's totally Flemeth. Flemeth says she isn't Mythal, but Mythal's part of her, and she used Mythal to kill her husband back in the day. Some just backstory stuff. Morgan really is not happy that Flemeth passes along. It's really not happy that Flemeth is there. But she passes along the knowledge to become a cool dragon lady to Morgan. Morgan is like, at this point, it's just like, I really wish you would have drank out of it instead of me. But also, and then you go back to Skyhold, because that's what you do. That's basically the scene.
It's much different if you did the ritual with Alistair and Morgan, and she has her child. Because you go in and then Morgan is you go find Morgan and her kid Kyrian has set the Illuvian up, the Meryl mirror, and you hop in and he has set it to go to the Fade. And so you are chasing through the Fade. You and Morgan are chasing through the Fade after her son, and you find her son with Flemeth, and she is essentially holding him hostage. And he's like, it's time for me to go now, mommy. And it's super dark and awful. And you're like, holy buckets. This lady is evil incarnate. She's essentially so it becomes this standoff essentially between Morgan trying to get her son, but knowing that because he's standing right next to Flemeth. And you're at any moment she could do whatever she wants. And we know that the way that Flemeth has created her immortality is by hopping into her offspring. And so Morgan's you have to come with me. She wants to use you to basically, because you have the old god soul in you, to become her ultimate version of herself. You can't do this. I don't want you to die. And Flemeth's you created him out of a want for power and greed. And she's yeah, but then I became a mother, and I became so much more than that, and now all I really care about is my son. And then so at the end, Flemeth walks off, Kyrian comes back, and she goes, I feel like I was just tested and I don't know if I passed. It's a really cool scene. It's really, really interesting. But yeah, it's then Flemeth gets this little half grin on her face and walks off, and we're oh, and she does the whole I'm Mythal or I'm not Mythal, but basically I'm Mythal, and that's how I actually have been living all these years or whatever it is. And it's really convoluted and confusing.
Yeah, I am the body of Mythal, but I am not Mythal, but we are one and the same, but we are not the same. It's a lot of hoity-toity, the thing is happening, but we don't want to fully explain the thing, so the thing is happening.
Yeah, it's very much like, two beings, one body type of situation. Kind of gets a little Christianity very in there. Where it's like, yes, this thing is this, but it is not this, but it is this, and good luck figuring it out type of situation. So yeah, it's really fun and interesting for sure. And I mean, also a lot of lore to be unpacked there, I'm sure, in the future with Flemeth.
Yeah, for sure. Probably, maybe. I also want to highlight that, like, Flemeth says if you are the one that drank and you go to this temple, then she starts to control you, and you're like, oh, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I can control you now. And Morgan goes, super glad I didn't drink then, because I don't want to be controlled by her, because she tried to take my body. Oh. And Flemeth will then say, actually, that was never my goal. I know you found this thing, but my goal has never been to take over bodies. I don't need to do that. It's more complicated than you think it is. I didn't kill any of my former daughters. And I don't know if that's a lie or not, but it seemed honest, and it's the end of the game, so why would you lie at the very end of the game when you're not going to correct it at some point or another? And I really like that.
Yeah, Flemeth doesn't say it like right out like that, but you get the impression that she goes, no, you're wrong about this. I haven't been doing that. That's not been. So like you get the impression that like we were wrong about that than it being like implicitly stated. There is a cool moment if Morgan drank from the well though, where like, you're trying to get Kyrian back. And so you try to attack Flemeth, and like Flemeth like raises her hand or something, and Morgan like smacks the Inquisitor. And that's when you realize that she has control over Morgan, because Morgan is, kind of controlled by the cup. It's very cool. It's really, really cool at the very end of this game here. A lot of cool, lore building.
It's really great.
Yep. All right. So is that me now for Doom Upon All the World?
It is.
All right, so I completely missed that, like, the dragon was just a red lyrium dragon until the end of the game when I was fighting the dragon. It said red lyrium dragon, and I was like, when did we find out? Whatever, I guess. So, but anyways, so time for us to go kill Corey. Corey's time is coming. So we head off to the start of the game essentially, and Corypheus has reopened like the Mega Rift, so we have to reclose the Mega Rift. So great, let's go do that. So we head out to that. We start the fight. Morgan turns into Dragon Morgan and starts fighting the Red Lyrium Dragon. I'm sure she will have it handled. No worries. All we have to do is take care of Corypheus.
Whoa. What? That's what happens?
What happens?
I had to fight a dragon, and the dragon came in.
You do have to fight the dragon. Yeah,
Morgan
I was being sarcastic.
Into a dragon?
Yeah, there's
you have to kill it all? Oh, yeah. So you got to kill the dragon all the way. So if Morgan drinks from the well of sorrows, her and the dragon go off and fight. You do have to attack the dragon, but it's only at 50% health. Because this is a multi-phase fight. It's 5 phases, but really only 2 or 3, really. So it's really 3 phases, but there are 5. So the first phase, so Morgan turns into a dragon, and the 2 dragons go off and start having a cool dragon fight. It's a cutscene. It's great. Yes, go ahead, Stormrage.
If you drank from the well, instead in the previous mission, you had to tame a dragon, and that dragon shows up and fights the Red Lyrium Dragon here.
Oh, okay. That's fun. What if you killed all the dragons like I did?
It's a dragon that appears in this scene only. It's like a golden dragon of some sort.
Oh,
it took me forever to kill.
It's Huma's dragon. That's awesome. Dragonlance callback. Love that. So Morgan and the dragon, or your fun golden dragon, go off and they have a fun dragon fight. We go up, start fighting Corypheus. He like banters with our party members. So I mean, I guess cool for him. That's great. He summons some spirit ads that you have to take care of while you're also killing him. After you get him down to a certain point, it cutscenes off to the dragon fight, and the red lyrium dragon essentially wins. And you have to take care of the red lyrium dragon from about 50% on. Not a very difficult dragon fight, but still really fun that we get to kill the red lyrium dragon. Once the red lyrium dragon is down, then we have to go and chase Corypheus up a tower, and he has a cool beam attack. We take care of him with the cool beam attack, and then at 5%, he gets super cranky, and he's like, "You can't do this!" And he summons the Orb of Destruction, calls out to the old gods to do he's like, "If you are there, help me in my moment of need." And we're like, nope, yoink. We steal the Orb of Destruction from him with our fun green anchor hand, and he gets super sad. We close the Mega Rift with the Orb of Destruction. The Orb of Destruction falls down to the ground broken, and we walk up to Corypheus, and we're like, "Hey, bro, bye," and we use the anchor to send him off into the Fade. The end. We drop the orb to the ground. Orb breaks. Solus walks over, looks at the orb in sadness, and is like, "What happened?" And we're like, "Sorry, my dude, but like it was, we had to do it. I know that you really you wanted that, and it was important to you as an elf, but like we couldn't do anything." And then Solus, like sad, like Hulk walks off. 1970 Hulk walks off. And then you got it. We head back to Skyhold victorious. There is a big party. We get to talk to all of our friends, except Varric, because Varric is bugged. And then we have a little chat.
I talked to Varric.
I couldn't figure it out. You have to catch him while he's doing like the cup, like cheers thing. It was very frustrating. Yeah. But
his thing was like, I really need to write a book about this, but nobody's going to believe it's a real story.
That's a good one. We have a little chat with Liliana, and we're like, "Have you had any luck finding Solus?" And she's like, "No, I haven't, but I'll keep looking." And we say, "Thank you." And then the game ends. Credits. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of credits. A whole bunch of credits that you cannot skip because there is a post-credit scene.
Fun fact, you can skip if you hit escape, and then it just goes to the post-credit scene.
Oh, nice. But first, there is an epilogue. There's an epilogue after every Dragon Age game. Tells you what all your choices did. So we have that. This one is really awesome because Morgan narrates it. Loved the epilogue in this game. So based on what you did, you get a little bit of information on each thing. So we'll go through that right now. So about Orlais, if Celine remained the Empress, I had that one. So Gaspard was executed, Briala and Celine reunited. Where once war raged, there is now a shaky peace. Orlais is resurgent, the Empress, a patron of arts and culture. Many attribute this to the recovery of her lady love, though others wonder how long their reunion will truly last. And then there's another option here. Fortunately for Celine, her gratitude towards the Inquisition has remained strong. Some claim she clings too tightly to the Alliance. Others know it is all that stands between her and defeat. Very cool. There were a lot of really neat options on this one, I thought, but that's kind of where I ended on that. Stormrage, do you remember what you had at the end here for this one?
Yeah, mine was weird because it gave me the prompt for Gaspard lives and Briala is dead. But I never killed Briala, but there isn't an option for Gaspard lives, Briala is pacified, which is what ended up happening because I don't know if you remember me talking about that court scene, but I talked through all the right things, and then it let me have Gaspard live, and then just kind of ignored Briala for the rest of it. Maybe it just killed her off screen without me ever knowing about it.
Apparently, Gaspard and Celine just like did an assassination.
Yeah, didn't love it, but I was given the Civil Wars ended, the Elven resistance pacified, but it is said Gaspard yet plots his return from exile. How long before the Empress missteps and he raises banners once more? This fear hounds her every move.
That's kind of cool. Matt.
All right, so I had Briala ruling through Gaspard, where it's like, consider the mighty of Emperor of Orlais, where Gaspard is ascended to the Golden Throne. His rule continues only so long as he bows to the will of Briala, the first elf to be granted titles in the land. Soon the new rights are granted to elves throughout the land. Plans are made to tear down alienage's walls. Good things.
Mm-hmm.
Emperor chafes under her command, but can do nothing, even as alliance of nobles considers open rebellion.
Kind of
So-
love that one best of all, to be honest. Tear down the alienage's
like the-
walls. That's kind of great.
Tear down the alienage's walls, and the nobles are revolting, as they usually, it's pretty great.
It's kind of great.
And then they like the fact that I had high approval at the end. Like they hesitate only because their respect for the Inquisition remains strong, so the Empire remains locked with an uneasy peace. So it seems only a matter of time. So
Cool.
we might have
Ending.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so next up is the Grey Warden. So there was a Grey Warden quest line through the War Table where it was like 5 or 6 different like War Table operations in a row, and if you like navigate it successfully, the Grey Wardens of Orlais and Ferelden aren't completely destroyed. So I did that. So I had them join the Inquisition and then walked through that quest line. So the Grey Wardens of the South slowly rebuild in the months following the events at Adamant. They declare it time for the Order to emerge from the shadows to join the rest of humanity in fighting their ancient foes. Rumors abound that they severed ties with their leaders at Weishaupt, and that a bitter war now rages between them. What became of Hawk is unknown, save that all news out of Weishaupt soon ends. Does the sudden silence indicate a battle within, or something far worse? I want to know.
That's what Velgard's for, right?
I have absolutely no idea what Velgard is for.
Maybe.
Yeah, mine since I saved the Warden and not Hawk, basically is like Logain, or that said that Stroud leads the Wardens to the rebellion, chance to fight for the Order within. So basically, the Stroud's leading in trying to change the Wardens into not being corrupted. So
Cool. Do you remember what you got?
I had the same Grey Warden as you did.
Nice. So Chantry and the Divine. This one's a fun one. So this one was a complete surprise for me because I did not support Cassandra or Vivian as Divine and thought I was supporting Liliana for Divine. Apparently I did enough in the game though for Cassandra to become my Divine. So Cassandra appointed Divine.
Yep.
1 month after the defeat of Corypheus, the Chantry names Cassandra as successor to the Sunburst throne. Given the name Divine Victoria, she immediately enacts reform, a new Templar order, and a new circle of magi. And then I told Cassandra that she should rebuild the Seekers from within and to make them what she wants them to be. So the Seekers of Truth are rededicated to their purpose of protecting the innocent.
I got the exact same thing you did, and let me tell you, I was super frustrated because I thought that I was supporting Liliana the entire time, and then when it happened, I was like, where did I go wrong? And I went back through. My decision was already made basically when we got to Skyhold, and so all of the other questions and things of that nature, none of it mattered, and I was so frustrated. Because at the end, Cassandra was like, I might be Divine soon. And I was like, you're not Divine yet. Maybe you don't have to be. Maybe you could turn it down. And I was like, that's got to be a lot of points. And then Liliana came to me and was like, would you publicly support me for being Divine? And I said, yes. And I was like, that's got to be so many points. Do you want to know how many points telling Liliana that she would make a good Divine is worth?
5.
1. You want to know how many points telling Cassandra that she, the first time she asks you, wouldn't be a bad Divine is worth?
It's worth 10, right?
10. What? If a friend comes up to me and is like, hey, do you think I would make a good McDonald's employee? And I was like, yes. Versus if I went to their boss and I said, hey, this person is going to be a good McDonald's employee. The first one isn't going to matter at all in them getting the job. The second one is going to matter significantly. And I was just like, why are you presenting me with these choices if it doesn't matter? Because my choice is already made 40 hours ago.
There
Oh,
are
I was so mad. I was so mad.
So this was probably because you were a true believer. I think a lot of those, like the true believer things add up like little points for Cassandra as you go. Like they're little +1s and +5s to Cassandra. Like as you support, like as a believer that you are like the actual Herald of Andraste, I think a lot of that goes towards Cassandra. So
having gone through and done the math on everything, there were two choices that ended up solidifying it. Choice number one, I allied with the Red Templars, which makes no sense I allied with the Templars. And it was it was 10 points for Cassandra, -1 for Liliana. And I was like, why is it so little for Liliana? That makes no sense. And the second is me telling Cassandra she'd do a good job when she asked me. So the only way that I could have kept Cassandra as a romantic partner throughout the end of the game is telling her to her face she'd be bad at the job she's dreamed of.
I didn't even tell. I went back. I went and talked to her, and I did the same thing. I was like, well, I'm a good friend. I'm going to tell you that. And then I was like, oh, I think that's going to give her points. And I don't think I want to give her bonus points. And so I actually went through and didn't support her in that. I still got her as the Divine. And I did support Liliana. I was happy with it. It was a fun surprise. I was kind of happy to not have, like, I didn't want to have, like, a horse in that race necessarily. I wanted to kind of see where my choices throughout the game landed it without me tipping the scales too greatly, even though like I gave a little nudge towards Liliana at the end because I think it'd be fun to have Liliana. And so when Cassandra was appointed, I was pretty happy with it, to be honest. Like I would have been happy no matter which way it went because it was how I played the game and I was happy with it. But yeah, it's funny how the math goes. I do wish it was, you could see what you were doing. I wish it wasn't like hidden math. I wish it was like public math.
Yeah.
Like, let me see what I'm doing and how it affects what's going on in this. Yeah. That I think is what I wish you could see the points.
Or make it like more like clear about it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And they do that a couple times in this game where you're like, why is this hidden? Why is this hidden?
My biggest frustration is don't present me with a choice if my choice doesn't matter. So if I'm mathematically locked into one, autoplay those scenes. Because if you're telling me that there's nothing I can do to get Liliana as the Divine, don't give me the choice of would you support me as Divine? Because then me saying yes and that not happening feels so bad. If you autoplay it and you're like, look, nothing you do is going to make this happen, then autoplay it of, no, I'm not going to do that. And that I would be fine with, because then it doesn't give me the hope or the illusion of choice at that point, which doesn't matter.
Yeah, this, I agree with you 100%. This, like, knocked down the game in, like, our final rankings and how I ranked the story and, like, the story aspect of it. I did reduce it a little bit because instead of it being S, I gave it an A, because there are things here where I'm like, I love the story, but like the way that the player does and doesn't have agency, I think is a little bit poor. I think like you kind of steal agency through like hidden systems, and like having hidden systems, like that might be more realistic, but like I'm not playing a video game where I go and kill dragons for realism, you know? So like, let me see what's happening behind the scenes. Give me like a divine meter or something like that, and let me make choices based on that. That is also fun. So yeah, I definitely did kind of ding the game at the end because of how they hid some of these things in like the backwards code and everything. So
yeah. So I had Liliana show.
Cool, Matt.
As my divine.
Cool.
So 1 month after the defeat of Corypheus, the Chantry names Liliana as the Sunburst Throne. Given the divine victorious, she declares an end to the Circle of Magi. The mages will now govern themselves. She opens the priesthood to other races, declares support for the Inquisition, rededicates the Chantry to the principle of charity. Divine Victoria is controversial from the start. Several new sects arise, resisting her reforms and declaring her of rule to threat to the faith. Since she was hardened, her response is as swift as it is deadly. Unity is maintained, but blood runs through the halls of the Grand Cathedral.
I love it. It's so good.
Right?
I mean, it'd be better if it were like you could actively make your choice.
Yeah. when she disbands the circles, so like when Liliana's divine, she disbands the circles. They leave the Inquisition and reform the College of Enchantress as a new order. The college, they say, will allow mages to the south to gather in peace and seek new solutions to age-old problems. For the moment, it appears to be working. Majors are enjoying unprecedented acceptance throughout Thedas. So, a little bloody, but a good ending.
I cannot wait to see what Veilguard does, because I do not believe like we have any agency in. I don't, because like there are 3 things that you get to choose. I think whether or not the Inquisition remained an order, who you romanced, and I don't think the Divine is one of them. Maybe I'm wrong. So I think they just actively choose, like, some of these things become canonical in the game, regardless of what you did, which is what frustrated me about Veilguard in the first place, is that, like, all of our choices and everything, I think, become moot, and they just chose a path for everybody because they wanted to be an MMO. And so because it's an MMO, they can't have your story be story. Yeah. So I'm going to be curious to see what happens in the game. I wonder if it's going to be Liliana. I kind of feel like it will be. But I don't know. It'll be fun to get there and see what happens. I honestly can't wait to see what they did with the game.
I know. I kind of love like murderous Queen Liliana.
Oh, I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I worked really hard to soften her and would like to see that, but it is what it is. I can understand being frustrated though, especially if I spent 2 hours trying to mod my way through it. Next up, we all sided with this Templars, so we all had Templars. There is a mage thing here, but we didn't get it. So with the Templars, I sided with the Templars. Those Templars of the Inquisition who were recruited at Therenfell Doubt are left with a choice. So I also chose Cullen does not use Lyrium post-Inquisition. So many follow in the footsteps of Commander Cullen, going through the slow and agonizing process of Lyrium withdrawal. The Seekers are rebuilt. This frees many to join the Seekers of Truth under the Divine. That's what I went with. A renewed order dedicated to justice for all, which I think I am very happy with Cassandra as Divine at the end, because of the cool way that the Templars kind of stop being Lyrium addicts and become like just an order of seekers that go through the process to what was it called, where they make themselves emotionless and then have the spirit of
Tranquil,
faith, the spirit of faith give them their powers. I think that's really, really cool, and I'm really, really happy that I ended up with this sort of ending with the Templars and Cassandra. I think it's really cool. I'm very happy with it, actually.
Dano, I am looking at, and it is 100%. My epilogue and your epilogue were the exact same.
Oh, awesome. Look how cool we are. Epilogue buddies. How did yours end up, Matt?
Basically, for the Templars, same way.
Cool.
Basically the same. Like, Cullen's clean. He's making a bunch of clean Templars, and the Seekers are doing the thing too. So.
Cool. And then final is how the Inquisition turns out. So there's a note here in the wiki. The Inquisition focus appears to be based. So this is like what the Inquisition becomes, kind of, right? How it remains in power. So the Inquisition focus appears to be based on a number of operations completed by a respective advisor, Josephine, Liliana, or Cullen, over the course of the game, including the recurring resource gathering missions, as well as Deep Rose expeditions and the Descent, which we haven't done yet. So mine, Inquisition focused on secrets, which was Liliana's. It has eyes and ears in every hall. No secrets are beyond its reach, and that knowledge has become the source of its power. So I'm guessing I also had a lot of like the bonus people go over to Liliana as well. So she was where I had most of my power. And then I had her do so many recurring resource missions because Liliana is the one that would give you the great bear hides. So every 15 minutes, she would get you 6 great bear hides. So I had her poach so many great bears. I would not be surprised if the great bear is now extinct in Thedas, because I was like, Liliana, I need more great bear hides. More great bear hides. Give me that agility bonus. More crit.
I will note on the war table, I did eventually download the mod of instant war table success, and let me tell you, It made the war table so much more enjoyable. I spent like 45 minutes just finishing every war table mission. It was awesome.
Yeah, one thing that helps with is you actually remember what you chose. So like you will choose an advisor, and then like some of them will be 23 hours later. There are some that were literally 23 hours later. And then you'd be like, oh, this is what happened. And I was like, why did I have Cullen do that again? So
Yep.
having instant war table, I think, is probably superior than having to wait 23 hours for something that ended up not even like gave you like a sigil at the end. And you're like, why did that need to take 23 hours?
Yeah.
Matt, what was your focus?
So mine was focused on connections. Actually, I know, like, I was actually, apparently Josephine was my busiest war table asset. The web of influence is felt in every hall. Through diplomacy and the trading of favors, it's gathered power to shake kingdoms. So yeah,
I like that. Though I think they're all pretty interesting. Do you remember what yours was, Storm Rage?
Also yours.
Okay, that's really funny. The other one is military might. If it was Colon, which they're all really interesting as ways that the Inquisition maintains its power. So we get through all this, and then we have the post-credit scene. It is fully like a fully voice-acted post-credit scene. So we have Flameth is hanging out in the Merylmere Crossroads, and Solus comes up to her. But from the top rope, she greets Solus not as Solus, but as the Dread Wolf, the elven god of legend who banished the elven gods beyond the Fade. So that's pretty crazy. Turns out that that Flemeth herself is an old elven god, and Solus himself also an elven god. He apparently had been slumbering for centuries or millennia. I don't know how long, a very long time. They have a little chat, and Flemeth/Mythal asks why he gave his orb to Corypheus. So the Orb of Destruction is actually Solus's / Dreadwolf's orb of power. He says that he gave it to Corey to unlock its true power, something he couldn't do himself because he had just woken up from his long slumber. He realizes that he made a fairly giant mistake, especially since that orb is now destroyed, and that he should be the one to pay the price. But he says, I just really can't, because people, they kind of need me, so you're going to pay the price. And Flemeth gives him a hug, and he stabs her and steals her mythal power. His eyes glowing with the power that was currently or formerly Flemeth's. End of game. What'd you guys think?
We can't afford Catherine Janeway anymore. That's my reading on that.
Iron Bull has Freddie Prinze Jr., which made my entire month.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
No, this was a scene. This was like, oh my god,
so cool, right? So dang cool. Now I can't wait to play for the DLCs.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
Taste my grilled cheese.
Munch.
Almost forgot. It's back-to-back Oops All Goods. I think this one's actually an Oops All Good and not like a quasi Oops All Good like last week. I got the first good. The first good was researching, implementing, modifying my archer build, finding all the best schematics and the best weapons, asking Liliana to kill basically every great bear left in the wild so I could use their hides, hunting down all 10 dragons. It all paid off in the end. I absolutely wrecked a high dragon. Did you guys see the video I posted? I killed a high dragon in like a minute. It was absolutely amazing.
That's great. Oh yeah, I did see that one. That was nuts.
And then like I killed Corypheus so fast, I almost accidentally soft locked the game, but I thankfully did. I only had one ad. It was such a quick fight. It was awesome. It was so satisfying.
I got comments on that.
What's our second good, Matt?
Seeing Flemeth back, I just love Flemeth, and she just like appears like briefly in every game. Like she's just like one little scene in every game, and then like just disappears and like until next time, haha, and leaves. This is great. She's great. I immediately, was like, yeah, when she showed up on screen. It was amazing. I love Flemeth. Storm Rage. What's the best? What's the third good?
That final scene. A lot of Dragon Age Inquisition has presented cool moments of like, oh, that paid off, or oh, it's nice to see them again. But very few moments genuinely surprised me. This is a moment that shocked me, both because Solus is not who he says he was, and also it explains some things about like, how did he know so much about rifts? Dano said like week 1, why? How is there rift magic? That doesn't make any sense. Rifts just existed, and I was like, well, that kind of makes more sense now that he knows rift magic when it just started existing. And it was just so good. And then the moment of betrayal where he takes Flemeth's life and steals her power. Oh, it was all just so good. It was so good.
It really, really was so good.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number.
Hey, Matt, what are you liking so far?
The zone for what Pride has wrought is probably one of my favorite zones in the entire game. It's like a forest zone. It's got temples. It's got like ruins everywhere. You got twisting through a forest, collaborating, collecting a bunch of materials that I'm totally never going to use, but it's great. Seeing a bunch of old friends that you collect through the game is just great. And, it's just lots of fun. It's like, just kind of like this. It's very much like the set piece that ends the game, and it's wonderful.
And it's also a jungle zone, and you don't like desert zones, right?
Exactly. So it fits in perfectly with my aesthetic.
I have incredible news for you, Matt. Like, this is going to buckle up. You're going to be excited. Mass Effect Andromeda, it might as well be called Desert Zone : the game.
Oh, no.
That's only true. That's only true for 2 of the planets.
All right. Oh, 2 desert worlds. How dramatic. Ugh. Is it a rocky desert and a sandy desert?
So it's like desert that used to be an oasis, but the water's poisoned, and area that's just desert. Just so much desert.
Sand. I hate sand. Storm Rage, what are you liking so far?
Every time I thought, wow, so many characters have been introduced. I wonder what happened to this character. They would pop up and they'd be like, hello, remember me from Dragon Age Inquisition or Dragon Age Origins? And it was just really, really nice. I'm bummed that we didn't get to see nearly as many friends from Dragon Age 2 as I had wanted, but most main characters in Dragon Age Origins make an appearance one way or another, at least the ones that I think are significant to the plot. And
well,
so
you don't get to see Sten anywhere.
Most characters that are significant to the plot.
Can I talk about Sten real
And
quick?
so I really enjoyed it.
Sten is such a miserable character. They made his name a title, so every single all Cune warrior like lieutenants are called Sten. It's just a Sten is a Canary lieutenant. That's how worthless he is.
Yeah. If they had the amount of information on the Cune available in that first game, maybe he would have been better. Because the Cunari get to be real cool by Dragon Age 2, and you're like, all right, I'm interested. And then in Dragon Age Origins, it's like, yeah, they're people up north. Don't ask questions. He's not going to answer anything.
It's very much Klingons from the original Star Trek and Klingons from Next Generation, where it's like, they're kind of like, and then you get Next Generation, like, oh, Klingons are kind of awesome. And then you get to like Deep Space Nine, and you're like, Klingons are really awesome. Very much, they're the Klingons, yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Dano, what are you liking so far?
So the game is good before getting to Skyhold, and absolutely amazing after Skyhold. Once you can break out of the hinterlands, start getting to the game proper, start breaking into the lore, it's really, really, really awesome. Slow start, but just an amazing finish. Hey there, Matt, what are you struggling with?
The Corey fight sucked. The second phase of the Corypheus fight was terrible. Especially when he went on ledges or was floating in the air. I'm a two-handed warrior. I can't do a whole lot with that. Like they're really and guess what? There's no steps either. Like there's no ways to get up onto those ledges. You just had to like sit there and like get him in range and like dispel him a couple times. Like just to do anything. It was awful. Like all I did was like fighting ads. Like okay, some ads are killing Solus. Let me go attack those. I guess.
I only had one ad. I didn't even know there was supposed to be ads in the fight.
Yeah. Stormrage, how about you? What are you struggling with?
We kind of already talked about this, but decisions made in Act 1 that have already locked you into specific choices later in the game, but still giving you the illusion of choice. Like, it's the same thing with Liliana that I talked about a couple weeks ago, where there was a Liliana decision of, like, you should kill this person or don't kill this person, and then I selected don't kill this person, and then she killed that person anyway. And I was like, then why give me the choice? Don't pretend that my choices... Don't give me the illusion of choice if it doesn't matter. If it's just for flavor, then I'm also fine with that. If you want to do just flavor choices, and then the plot will go all the way through without, that's fine too. But I hate the illusion of choice when the decision's already been made for me. It really bummed me out, both on this and the Divine selection. Dano, what are you struggling with?
I have nothing left to do. Like, just nothing. Like, my quest log is just 2 DLCs. That's it. I've done everything in the game. If this were Skyrim or Fallout 4, I would have 1,000 more hours of modded adventures before me to play. But that isn't possible in Dragon Age Inquisition. Like, they've locked down, like, the modding ability to such an extent that, like, you can contain choices and like how things look, but you can't add to the game. Which, like, why? Part of the reason that Fallout 4 and Skyrim have remained relevant is because that hundreds of thousands of free hours that people have put into adding to that game because they love the game. And that could exist for Dragon Age Inquisition, but that's not something that EA and BioWare want, which bums me out. I want to play this game more, but there's nothing more to do. I've done it all. So I play another game, I guess.
Do it all over again.
Yeah, I have. I've done it all multiple times now. Hey there, Matt. What surprised you about the game?
I have a feeling this is going to be very common between the three of us. The cliffhanger at the end. It was like, why is there a cliffhanger? Why is there more story? What's going on? I'm kind of excited about it, honestly. Stormrage.
What do you mean we're setting up another game? We finished this game. This was the end of things. Why is there more? What's happening here? What is Solus doing? Can I save him? What's he doing? What's that orb? Why did he make so many choices? So many questions, not nearly enough time. Dano, what surprised you about the game?
Yeah, exactly that. I'd honestly convinced myself that I had misremembered the Solus thing because I was talking to him in Haven and I was like, oh, I must have it wrong. I thought he was a Dreadwolf. I don't have that right. And then, like, when it happens, like, oh, I was right. That's really funny. All right, let's, do I have it on my board? I do.
Game reviews. Game reviews.
Stormrage, what'd you think about the game?
Dragon Age Inquisition is a game that is difficult to rank. There are things that this game does incredibly well. It is a beautiful game full of fascinating characters. It has a story that takes some delightful twists and turns and ultimately resolves a lot of the tension that it has created in the other games. It has something for literally everyone. Open world? Check. Great characters? Check. Crafting? Check. Fun combat? Check. It also has a lot of chuff. There are many, many things that feel like they were added to the game simply to add time without increasing the fun. They obfuscate mechanics in ways that are intended to create these reveal moments, but are so hidden that at the end of the game, it feels like I got cheated because I answered one question wrong 40 hours ago. That feeling sucks. I think this is the kind of game that you want to play again and again because you keep getting more and more familiar with the hidden aspects of the game and are more comfortable playing within its structure. That being said, I don't think I'll ever revisit Dragon Age Inquisition ever again. It has too many things that I don't personally enjoy. The open world nature of the game really takes away from the tight narrative, and the focus on crafting and side questing just left me with a guilty feeling of, well, I don't have time for that, and that means I don't get to experience those things. Which is a bummer, because I think this game is fantastic. I also don't know if I would change anything within the game itself, given the choice, because I know how many people enjoy those aspects. But given the choice between replaying Dragon Age Inquisition or Dragon Age 2, I'll pick Dragon Age 2 every time.
Matt.
Probably my favorite Dragon Age. I really enjoyed a lot of this game, and yet there's still I didn't even touch. There's like a bunch I didn't even touch or interact with. Moving the open world thing, moving into open world zones is great when it worked. It was fantastic when it worked. Like one particular example is that area, the flooded area, where you
Crestwall.
Yeah, Crestwood.
Crestwood.
Yeah, Crestwood is probably my favorite zone. But it was really brutal when it didn't work. Like the hinterlands with like being the first major zone was a mistake. Like I think the hinterlands being like the first area they drop you into is a mistake. It's way too big. It's gorgeous. There's a ton of stuff to do, but it absolutely overwhelms you out right out the gate. Like there's too much going on there. And also because of that, cities and towns really felt kind of unimportant. Like you go into a little town, they're like background little towns that just don't feel like anything. They don't feel like little living spaces. They're just houses on the side of the road. Skyhold, however, was incredible. It's huge. It's gorgeous. It's detailed and full of personality, and also way too big. Sorry for swearing.
Ah, you guys, what in the world? And also, you had to fast travel around Dragon Age 2 to get to your friends, and you didn't complain about it, so I'm not sure why you're complaining about Skyhold.
Fair. But maybe the fact that you had but also the entire game happens in Kirkwall. Like everything in the game happens in Kirkwall. Skyhold is just an area where your friends hang out, and it's impossible to find them half the time because you're playing hide and seek with them. Sometimes it feels like. And also, if you're like hangout zone with your buddies needs fast travel, it's a little too big. Crafting, when I did get into it, felt more rewarding than actually trying to loot things, which was surprising to me. And actually, you can get stuff that's more powerful than the stuff you loot, which is great. I ended up with I didn't go deep into it. I just like the stuff I gathered around. I was able to make some great stuff. And I can totally imagine, getting all the bear hides in the forest so that you can make some really broken stuff. The characters were definitely the high point. My only issue is the narrative. Sometimes it's hard to follow in the moment, but once you get kind of like that explainer what's happening at the end, it really comes together, and I really enjoy it. One of my favorite things about this series in general is how it reuses and recontextualizes the other existing characters from other games. Pulling the big bad from a mid story quest in Dragon Age 2 was insane, but it worked. Just like this random boss you fight in the middle of Dragon Age 2. He's the big bad of Dragon Age Inquisition. It's kind of cool. The war table works. I kind of liked unlocking stories through it, but it still felt like AFK mobile. This is do this in the background while I actually play the game or live my life. It worked. I just never really fully engaged with it, and maybe doing the mod would have been the right thing. What really made this game for me was the combat. I love the mechanics. The party AI worked for me. But that's the thing that's going to bring me back is the combat, the role play, making different choices. Now that I have Dragon Age Keep set up, I'm going to probably import a save as long as Dragon Age Keep still exists. And it give me a new excuse to play Dragon Age 2, which, feels kind of like setting up for Inquisition in a way. And I really enjoyed that very much. So yeah, Dragon Age Inquisition, probably my favorite Dragon Age.
So I love this trilogy of games. I think is so neat because how characters from Origins get built upon in Inquisition and characters from Dragon Age 2 get built upon in Dragon Age. I think that's a really, really cool mechanic. I think I don't know if there are many other games like that where your friends are more of a main character than your main characters are main characters.
Yeah,
it's fascinating and interesting, and yeah, I love that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was trying to find the way to squeeze that point in, but yeah, like the fact that like every game you're a completely different protagonist, and but it works. Like there's like you don't become like like that's something about Mass Effect. It's like you're Shepard the entire time. You're the same Shepard for all three games, and by the end you're Jesus. Like this one, it's just like three. Like you have like three other people. Like you have like three like very important people that you're controlling, but they're not like the same person, and they're not like this through line throughout the entire story. It's great.
I'm not gonna say. Oh, go ahead, Stormrage.
That's actually a significant detractor for me. Because I didn't control the same character, I wasn't able to also develop relationships. So when like new characters from old games popped up, there wasn't a moment of me like, oh yay, that's my friend. It was, okay, this is a random person that I, Daniel, know, but my character has never met before. And that kind of like suspension of disbelief within the game was a little rough for me. So I think that that's probably one reason why I knocked down Dragon Age Inquisition. Is because in Dragon Age 2, it was like new person, new world, new entire thing. We barely relate to Dragon Age Origins. And in this one, it's very much related to both. And the time I was thinking, wait, why am I just not playing Hawk? And so I think that did detract for me for quite a significant time for this game.
So I enjoy it because it's different. I don't know that one is better than the other. There is a distinct, very real possibility that this game is just a lot better if you play Hawk. That's quite possible. But I do really enjoy like getting to talk to Liliana. Those like little moments, like getting to talk to Liliana and being like her just having a throwaway sentence where she's like, yeah, the hero of Ferelden, we were together and I still love them and we will be together again, but we just can't be together right now. It's just like, it's a throwaway moment, but like those little throwaway moments where like your friends call back to the people that they are and the history that they have, it fleshes them out in a really cool, they had lives before you and you aren't like the main character of their life. I think that is really neat. And that's what I love about the way Dragon Age approached these first three games. I don't know that it's better than like approaching like Mass Effect, like getting to play through Shepard's life. Very cool. I loved that. I loved all Shepard's friends. It was fun. But I do really enjoy how Inquisition ties the three games together. I think it's a really neat idea. I don't know if it wasn't, I think, implemented perfectly, but it was implemented really in a way I really enjoyed. I was with you, Stormrage. I was team Dragon Age 2 as well. This game, actually, this current playthrough, it did change my mind. I had so much fun with the combat, so much fun with the crafting, so much fun just kind of diving into every little nook and cranny of the game. I finished everything. I found all the booze bottles, even though they served no purpose. I didn't even try to finish it. I just accidentally found 27, 29, like I said. So I found the last two. Finished all the quests, found all the murals, including downloading a mod to make the murals look better, which was so much fun to see them displayed throughout Skyhold. I absolutely loved it. Crafted some of the best armor and weapons in the game, and did it all on nightmare mode from beginning to end with the system set up that, I had the bears that were super hard. I had, everyone level up with me. It was fantastic. In the end, beat Corey so quickly, he hardly had time to move through his phases. Absolutely, loved the game. The Hinterlands still, even when I played through the Hinterlands the first time in this game, which is the third time I played through the Hinterlands, it wasn't awful because I knew exactly what to do. But getting out of the Hinterlands, getting to Skyhold, it really does. You're like, wow, that is a rough start. But once you get to the middle and the end of the game, it just shines. Your friends are fun and interesting to know. The Blackwall thing even doing this multiple times, the Blackwall scene was powerful and difficult. What is right in that situation? Yes, he is trying to be a better person than who he was, but like who he was is still who he is. And so what is the right decision to make there? Fascinating and fun to work through. And a great way to kind of tell a story and make a person think about, Crime and Punishment, right? I thought it was really well done. The game rewards you for exploring zones. You find out so much of the world and the storytelling through those zones that the game doesn't force you to play, which rewards your time, I feel like. So it is a game that wants you to sink 100 hours into it in your first playthrough and then have you come back and do everything again now that you know how it works. If you don't want to do that, it's probably not a game for everyone, like Storm Rage said. But if you want a game that takes you from A to B to C, this isn't it. It's not going to like hold your hand through everything, though I think it does a good job of helping you walk through the narrative with the story quests. So like if you do want to kind of just go through it quickly, you kind of can. But it does encourage exploration. If you like crafting, researching builds, diving into every nook and cranny of a zone, I think this is a game you really will like. But if you're trying to if you want a Mass Effect tight story, probably not what you're looking for. Should we head off to our game rankings?
Yeah.
All right. Matt, you and I get a start because we played 11 games. Matt, what was your 11th favorite game?
Cult of the Lamb.
Mine was Obra Dinn. All
Crazy
right.
talk.
10th favorite game, Storm Rage.
Cult of the Lamb.
Matt.
Darkest Dungeon.
Mine was Cult of the Lamb. 9th favorite game, Storm Rage.
Darkest Dungeon. Right behind Matt.
Matt, what was your 9th favorite game?
Obra Dinn.
And my 9th favorite game is Mass Effect 1. Which still surprised me, by the way. 8th favorite game, Storm Rage.
Chrono Trigger.
Matt.
Dragon Age Origins.
Mine is also Dragon Age Origins. 7th, Storm Rage.
Life is Strange. It's insane to me that Life is Strange is at number 7.
How is that even possible?
I know.
The other games are really good.
We've played a lot of good
games.
games. We've played all. We've played 10 good games and then Obra Dinn. So it's so hard.
We played 11 good games. What are you talking about?
I've lost track of where we're at. Where are we at?
I just did 7.
Okay, Matt, what's your 7th?
Mass Effect 1.
And mine is Chrono Trigger, which is like one of my all-time favorite games, by the way. So like it's insane to me. But all right, number 6, Storm Rage.
Number 6 is where Dragon Age Inquisition slots in for me.
You know what? That's a W. I thought you were going to despise this game, to be honest. So I take Inquisition being that high as a big win.
Yeah.
Matt, what is your number 6?
Number 6, I did Mass Effect 1, so it's Mass Effect 3.
Mine is Darkest Dungeon, another one of my all-time favorites. All right, number 5, top 5.
Top 5 is where the cream of the crop takes place, so obviously Return of the Obra Dinn has got to be in those top 5.
So wrong. You guys have just
I
bad
love
opinions.
this game. I don't know what to tell you. It's one of my favorite games I've ever played. It's such a cool experience.
Matt, what's number 5?
Number 5 for me is Dragon Age 2.
My number 5 is also Dragon Age 2. All right, number 4, Storm Rage.
Dragon Age 2.
Actually, can we go back real quick? Your Inquisition, how did you rank it on your rubric? Do you mind going backwards and talk about that?
I figured that we'd finish all the rankings and then go back.
That sounds great. That sounds great. I love that. Okay, that's great. Okay. All right, Matt.
So, number 4, this is actually a 3-way tie here, right at 2 through 4
Nice.
for me on my rubric. Number 4 is Chrono Trigger.
Nice. My number 4 is Mass Effect 3. Number 3, Storm Rage.
Mass Effect 1, baby.
I wonder what our next 3 are going to be, Storm Rage, for you. Matt, what's your number 3?
Tied with Chrono Trigger is Life is Strange.
Oh, my number 3 is Dragon Age Inquisition. Number 2, Storm Rage.
Mass Effect 2.
I'm shocked. Truly shocked. Shocked to my core. Matt, what's your number 2?
My number 2, tied with Life is Strange and Chrono Trigger, is Dragon Age Inquisition.
Nice.
Wow.
Love
I like
that.
this game a lot.
Love that. My number 2, tied with my number 1, but it is my number 2 because I don't like it as much as my number 1, is Mass Effect 2. Such an amazing game. And then number 1, Storm Rage, is Dragon Age Inquisition.
3.
Mass Effect 3, shocked to the core. Matt, what's your number 1?
Number 1 by a good, half a point. It's Mass Effect 2.
Nice. And my number 1, tied with my number 2, is Life is Strange. I got the feeling the other day. I was like, I think I need to play Life is Strange again. All right. I know that you and I both used the rubric Storm Rage. I'm not sure, Matt. I know you're not.
I did.
Okay, you did.
I
Okay,
did.
cool. So let's go ahead. Do you want to go through that one after the other, just how we ranked each one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Storm Rage, you want to get us started?
For arts and graphics, I gave it an S. This game is beautiful. It has some really, really fun moments. It has some good ways that it has integrated the graphics, and I think overall it flows great. It looks great. No notes.
I wish the hair was better, but I still gave it an S.
I gave it a, just because it looked really good. Not really no reason not to give it an S, but I just decided to give it an A. I probably could have given it an S, to be honest, but I gave it an A. What was game mechanics for you, Storm Rage?
Game mechanics, I gave it a B. I felt like the core mechanics were pretty solid, but there were so many additional things that I was like, why are we doing this? Why is this necessary? Why is it necessary that I need to unlock a 4th tier level perk before I can unlock certain doors? Like, this is just ridiculous. And the war table is both great and frustrating. So, like, there are some parts of it that I really like. There are parts of it that are really frustrating. So I thought a B was fair.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat where it's like I gave it a B. It's mainly the war table what dragged it down for me, and also like some of the crafting stuff is not explained at all.
Yeah,
like some of the modification stuff is not really like delved in. Like I guess you can look on the internet, but if you have to do that, that knocks it down for me. So
I gave game mechanics an S. There are things that are just kind of like, why are we doing that? But
yeah,
the things that, like, the rest of it is just too amazing. The crafting is so much fun. The murals, finding the murals is so much fun. And then the displayed murals look so good. So yeah, there are things that aren't perfect, but like the things that do really work, and then the combat is absolutely amazing. And the combat's I think
great.
The most fun game we've played is Dragon. I think I don't even necessarily think it's close combat wise. How much more fun Inquisition is than every other game we played.
I disagree. I think Dragon Age 2 has better combat, and I think a lot of games actually have better combat than Dragon Age Inquisition.
No,
I don't know.
2 is not better than Inquisition.
I really fell in love with the two-handed build I did, and I'm curious to see if when I play it again, if I do like an archer or a mage build, like how much different it's going to feel, and how much if I like it, if I'm still going to like it as much. But like the two-handed warrior build was so much fun for me.
I've played both a tank and a two-handed warrior before, and like it is so much fun to like melt enemies as an archer.
Oh
it
yeah, like off tank DPS warrior is like the best. It is so much like I just swing a gigantic hammer into people's heads. It's amazing.
Yeah. Character Storm Rage.
S. Fantastic characters. No notes.
Yep. I gave it A mainly because like the interactions with the characters are hard to like determine like where they are with you. That's my only knock with it. Like, you know, you have to like know how they talk to you initially. The initial greeting is how you figure out how much they like you. That's the only knock I have with the characters.
I gave it an A because it's not Mass Effect 2 characters. That's the other reason.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Like, I've met the Mass Effect 2 characters, and like, how do you top that? I mean, they're amazing. The characters in this game are absolutely amazing, but like I've played Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Pretty good.
Playability in 2025, Storm Rage.
I give it an A. There's no real significant issues, but Dragon Age Keep, I think it sucks. And the fact that you have to install one specific Frosty mod manager in order to do any mods, and some of the modding's weird. So it's not perfect, but it is pretty dang good. So I give it an A.
Matt.
S tier, because I enjoyed playing the heck out of it. I didn't care. I didn't mess with the mods. I didn't mess with like any of those stuff. So I'm like, and it plays perfectly out of the box, and it has controller support. That's enough to make it an S.
Yeah, I gave it an A. Pretty much the same reasons for Storm Rage, where it was like, yeah, this is great, plays great out of the box, and then there's a couple of things where it's like, especially if you're trying to like get all the mosaics, like one of the mosaics is actually bugged in the game and you can't collect it without a mod. So, yeah, they just never bothered to fix it. It was hidden behind a wall that you can't get behind. And they're like, nah, no worries. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I mean, it plays great without having to worry about anything, but there are some things where it's like, you patched this game. Why didn't you fix that?
Mm-hmm.
Soundtrack, Storm Rage.
S. This is the first S tier soundtrack I've given since Mass Effect 3.
Matt.
A. It's really good. I'm like it's not Chrono Trigger. That's the only reason why. I gave it an A.
I gave this S tier. I tried to actually modify the spreadsheet so I could give it an S tier because this is my favorite game soundtrack ever. I absolutely love
It's
the soundtrack.
really good. The moment where like you're walking into Skyhold and like it's so good. There's some just really, really incredible moments.
Yeah. And then story, Storm Rage.
I gave it a B. I think if it was exclusively main story, it'd probably be an A, maybe an S tier. But I incorporated like the story throughout the game, and I think a lot of the mini or side quests are just not really that fulfilling story-wise, and there's so many of them that ignoring it is also not super fulfilling story-wise. So, a good solid B.
Matt?
I gave it an A. It's good, really good story. Fantastic story. And like, the cliffhanger at the end. What the heck?
Yep, I gave it an A as well. Not perfect, but I think it's almost as good as any game we played other than maybe Mass Effect 2 and 3. So, yeah. Awesome. Well, that is it for this week. Next week, we get to meet the new Shepherd. We are playing Mass Effect Andromeda. I've already started playing Mass Effect Andromeda. I can't wait to start talking about it. The Return of X Mass Effect is truly exciting. I can't wait to get into this.
I do like that we're doing X-Mass Effect in November.
I mean, it takes time to get through. I mean,
yeah, we'll get there.
It's a late Thanksgiving. What are we supposed to do? Wait until the 4th week of November this year? No, we're not doing that. New Shepherd, because the old Shepherd is a plant person hybrid living in a utopia.
Yep.
That's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to our patrons for patronizing us. You can find links to our Discord and our content information, the link tree in the description of this episode.
And Dragon Age Inquisition was a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah! Aren't you glad we started an Inquisition, baby?
It's nearly the end of the show! Everybody bye!
Love the past tense. That was perfect.
Yeah, I thought so too.
We still have.
We are coming back to Dragon Age Inquisition. In
We
case
are.
anybody is like,
Yeah,
wait, what?
yeah,
Are we
we're
doing
coming
the
back.
DLCs? We will after Mass Effect Andromeda. We wanted a break from Dragon Age since we're going into Veilguard here soon.
Yeah, and the DLCs are actually really, really good. Actually, the Deep Roads one is fun, not really a ton. It's like a fun little standalone story. Two of them are kind of little standalone stories, and then the last one I have not even played through actually. So, yeah, it's gonna be. I think they're gonna be good. I played through the Deep Roads one completely, enjoyed that a lot. I've dove into one of the other ones, but I haven't completed the DLC. So these are gonna all be brand new to me. So, or two are brand new to me.
Nice.
Yeah. It'll be fun. I tell you what, I have been very surprised with Mass Effect Andromeda so far. The combat, I am not very good at.
The combat is a lot faster.
Yes.
And a lot less cover shooter based. And so for me, it will be the best combat that I have played in any of the games that we have covered so far, full stop. And I also recognize that it is much more shooter than Mass Effect often has been in the past. Mass Effect is usually like sit behind cover, use your abilities, shoot at things, but like it's not a super fast-paced game. Andromeda is a fast-paced game. You are moving, you're jumping, you're using your jetpack. It is a everything, everywhere, all at once kind of combat.
Yeah, it's very shooter. It's very shooter. So if you're like an old man that doesn't play shooters, it is tough. I have started getting the hang of it. I've started with a sniper build already. Though like zipping around the battlefield's a lot of fun with your jetpack. So I might switch up to like
a lot of fun.
I might switch up to some sort of like biotic shotgun thing, but like
Vanguard.
If like you go to level up and it's like you go to level up and it presents you with 50 different things and it's like pick 3 of them and you're like but what? Like if
it doesn't matter.
It is. I'm certain it does matter, though. I'm certain it does matter. Yeah. And like, not only do you have like a gigantic skill tree with no, like that just lets you choose whatever with no kind of rhyme or reason to it. You also have to pick between like 1 or 2 like pre-programmed like thingamajigs. So like it's a multi-tier thing. Found it very daunting to the point where I actually I've only put in a few points in anything because I'm like, I don't even know where I'm supposed to be putting anything. And I'm terrified to put anything anywhere. I have not leveled up any of my companions yet. It's just like, it's so daunting.
I would say real quick advice, just auto level up your companions because it doesn't really matter by and large.
I've been doing that for 4 games now. So it's fine.
Yeah, same. And then for abilities for yourself, just pick one ability, play it, max it out as far as you can, and just see if you like that ability. Because you can respec at literally any time for basically no cost on your own ship. So if you like an ability, great, then that's your new ability. And if you hate it, great, go respec and do it all again.
Yeah.
Man, like stuff like that where there's like just a sheet of like abilities and like level up ideas. Can we just make a roguelike that does that? That'd be great.
No.
Okay.
That's it for this week. Fine. Next week, it's Xmas Effect in November. Thank you all for listening. We'll talk to you again next week.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.